is up, everybody? Welcome into this edition, episode 3 of the Futurist podcast. I'm joined by my co-host Hassan and Zan, as always, and we're joined by the 7-figure master trader behind the trades and the wizardry inside of Steady Stack and much more. I mean, Beau is absolutely killing it. We got Beau on the podcast today, and I'm really just excited, as Zan and Hassan were saying, to peel back the onion, kind of figure out how you got into trading, and really just a lot of traders out there don't have the track record to show. A lot of them just make their money by selling courses. So this is a completely different ball game that Beau's playing. We're really stoked to have you on. So welcome on to the Futurist.
Yeah, 100%. And I really appreciate that intro, Johnny. That was really kind. Yeah, it means a lot. I've watched all these Futurist podcasts that you guys have done, and it's really cool to be on the other side, and it's a humbling experience to be on here with you guys. You guys are all legends, and I have great respect for all of you. So I appreciate you guys having me on. This should be a lot of fun.
Yeah, bro, you're the man, the myth, man. We all make money with you and through you. So we appreciate you coming on here.
Yeah, I think even on Twitter a few weeks ago, you posted your recaps, and I was like, I'm out here tailing your stock plays inside of Steady Stack, and that's how you know you're a legit trader. Like, you put your trades out there and people win with you. I think that's so, that value is so important.
Dude, I have people that, we have a little bit of an e-house here at the compound, and I have people who literally come downstairs and they're like, yo, I just got in Beau's Tesla trade. I just made 40%, 5 minutes.
It was so crazy. One time I was literally talking to one of my friends. And I was talking to one of my friends, and he literally goes, I showed him some stuff inside of our server, and he was like, bro, I've had a screenshot of Beau's daily watch list sent to me in a text group before, because traders will trade together,
Yeah.
And Beau just is always updating the markets. And so we got to learn more about how you got to this point.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's going to be awesome just to hear the story, how you perfected your strategy, and, all the above. So let's go ahead and dive into it, guys. Like the video down below. If you're enjoying these podcasts, the in-person format will return. We are traveling at times, and, we're all over the place. Everyone here is running businesses. Everyone here has, stuff going on. So we will have that in-person, format back on the channel. Like the video and subscribe down below for more episodes of The Futurist. And Beau, I just want to let you introduce yourself quickly. I know I did a brief intro, but in your own words, just introduce yourself. And then how did you get into trade? What led you into trading?
Yeah, 100%. So I've been trading for the last 9 years. I am 27, turned 27 this month. So I've been trading the last 9 years, 5 of which have been completely full time. And 2 out of the last 4, I've done 7 figures in profits. One of those being done completely live within Steady Stack, where we ended the year, and I'll go over that account a little bit later in the episode and whatnot. But we ended pretty heavily in profit with everything being traded live. So just to give you kind of a more brief overview of kind of how I got started. So 9 years ago, options trading existed, but it just wasn't as big of a thing as it is today. Today, there's a lot of the Twitter gurus, and everyone's trying to sell a course. And I mean, you could find that probably within a couple seconds of going on investment Twitter. You could find someone trying to sell a course to you. So that's been something that I always wanted to really avoid. Any kind of selling courses, trying to teach through any method where I'm removing money or taking money from people. So just some background on kind of how I got started, right, is a lot of the influence that I got from wanting to start trading did come from social media, from seeing posts of people making money on Twitter, from hearing stories of people who took $1,000 and turning it into $1 million, right? And I think anytime when you're super young, that just sounds like the greatest thing in the world, right? How can you not look into that when you hear people making so much money, right? So my story is not instant overnight success by any means. Like I said, I've been trading for 9 years, only 5 of which have been full time. So those first 4 years, they actually took a whole lot of trials and tribulations, right? Those first 4 years were not super successful years for me. That was me testing a bunch of different processes, using and going through even some of those different Twitter courses, trying out different strategies that people are posting on socials, reading through trading books, right? Trying to learn as much as I can, and put that into my own strategy and build out my own processes on how to successfully trade, right? But when you're first learning, as pretty much with anything, especially when you're trying to learn it yourself, it's going to be pretty inconsistent. So those first 4 years were super inconsistent for me, and a lot of times not profitable at all, as you're building that system out. But I think in a lot of ways, I look back and I'm grateful for those years, where I wasn't profitable, because you kind of have to go through those trials and tribulations and test out different strategies to kind of find what type of trader you are. And secondly, not a lot of people are willing to put that much time into something, right? It's hard to fail at something for 4 years, right? To constantly say, okay, this strategy has worked for the past month. I think I finally did it. And then you go on a losing streak for 2 months and you realize, hold on, wait, maybe this isn't what I thought it was, right? So to be able to fight through and continue to learn, continue to have successes, have failures over the course of 4 years, while not being consistently profitable at all, not a lot of people are able to do that. It was really in my 5th year of trading that I kind of made that breakthrough and was finally able to find a consistent strategy. What I found was that my personality actually matched best into my trading, right? So when I first was starting out, I was copying a lot of traders, using strategies that I was finding from other traders, where it was very action heavy, right? They want to trade every single day. They're doing 5 to 10 trades every single morning. And that's just not my style. I did not have a good success rate with that. Because I am a much more patient trader. For me, I invest heavily into research, looking into the stocks, analyzing the company, digging through quarterly reports. And what I found for me is that matches my personality almost to a T. Being patient, learning when to take trades, because what I always try to teach Titans inside of Steady Stack is that if you trade, you can trade every single day, right? And you can make however amount per month, right? But if it's inconsistent and you could just take 1 or 2 trades a month and make double what you'd make by trading every single day, why would you take the inconsistent route where you're going to have a whole lot of ups and downs when you could wait for only A+ setups? You could take 1 to 2 or however many trades present themselves during that month, be extremely consistent in your win percentage, continue to compound and scale your account that way, and then you see exponential growth, right? That all ties in. So yeah, that's kind of how I got started. After that 5th year, I really found a successful strategy that worked for me, primarily revolving around options. For those of you guys who aren't familiar, it's kind of like leverage trading in crypto, right? So I would suggest looking into that if you aren't familiar. But yeah, so the last 5 years that I've done full time has really just been around perfecting that. Sorry, Hassan, I didn't hear you.
I said it's just a little better. Options a little better than leverage trading.
Yeah, just a little better.
Well, yeah, they're both leverage, but
yeah. So yeah, that's really been the last 5 years, is perfecting that strategy, scaling that strategy. And like I said, 2 of the last 4 years, I've been able to do 7 figures in profits. So just continuing to do that. And now through Steady Stack, I'm able to actually touch base, reach, teach, educate a lot more people than just kind of the solo mindset that I typically had when I started trading. So, and I can give more background on kind of how I got started with Steady Stack and everything, but I've been, I gave you a long-winded answer here, so I want to kick it back to Johnny, so I don't take up too much time.
No, of course. I mean, you're the guest and you're here to spill value. And I think a lot of people can learn from a lot of the things you touched on here. So, as a beginner trader, anyone, they see the Forex stuff online, they see people printing money in options, leverage trading, crypto, and then they try it. And yeah, you lose the position, you take another position, you take another position, you're chasing losses. the greed that's involved with some of the trading is it's real, and it's hard to overcome that. And then if you're consistently unprofitable, blowing your account over and over again, most people, like you said, would leave and just, abandon that. Not going to work for me. But it does take that time to curate a strategy. Most traders are not overnight successes. So what was the change for you over time? Obviously, like, what did you start looking at over the vault? Like, obviously you say A+ setups. What factors into some of those setups in your analysis? You don't have to give the whole sauce, obviously, but what was the change in your mindset of, okay, I don't have to take 15 trades a month to be profitable here? And what kind of structured the setups that you do work on today?
And for those who don't understand, I mean, like, I remember when I first started trading, there's so much going on. Like, it was hard to go to bed at night because you wanted to wake up the next morning and just trade. There's like so many things happening. You feel like you have to catch every trade. And I think like this is a really, really important question. Everybody may not realize how hard it is, but once you get in the game, it's difficult to like not overtrade, not blow your account, like not make all these massive mistakes that set you back to zero. So it's a great, great question.
Yeah, 100%. And you guys both hit it pretty much right on the head. There is the biggest shift for me was switching from I need to trade every single day, take X amount, I need to make a certain dollar amount per day type of mindset, and switching it into, I'm not going to take a trade unless an A+ setup presents itself, right? I'm okay with sitting out an entire week, taking no trades the whole week. I'm okay with sitting out 2 weeks, 3 weeks, however long it is until that trade setup presents itself, right? Because I had to switch my mindset from making a certain dollar amount per day and thinking that that's the only way that I can make this into a full-time job, versus realizing that taking one or two really, really good setups, going in with a heavy size on those, which I know are going to have a more consistent hit rate, you're able to make even more than you would be chasing a bad setup or chasing less consistent setups every day. So changing my mindset from, I have to trade every day, that's the only way, if I hit this dollar amount, if I'm making $200, $300 per day, then that's enough to supplement a full-time job income, right? You have to get out of that mindset and realize that, well, hold on, if I make 2 trades a month and I make $5,000 on both of those trades, okay, boom, you just supplemented your entire income right there. That's when you can start to really scale and optimize that strategy. So a couple of things that go into some of those A+ setups too is that I realized that I do better when I focus on specific sectors, right? So I will really heavily
riches
research
in the niches.
Yes, exactly. So Titans who have followed my morning watch list for the course of the past year now have probably noticed and seen that too, is that the plays or the stocks or the tickers that I'm watching are very consistently the same, right? And they've kind of probably even formulated, okay, I know that Beau posted Baba the last couple times over the past weeks. He's probably watching Baba. I should probably take the levels that he's been posting on Baba, put those on my chart, and now I have a better idea of probably what he's looking at, right? Because I'm a newsline-based trader, working in specific sectors works really well for me, because then I can stay super informed on the sector. I can do as much research into what stocks specifically meet the criteria that I'm looking for in that sector, build out the levels and technical analysis on those stocks and on those tickers, and then back that with the news headlines or upcoming catalysts that we have to take advantage of that and be early on a lot of those scenarios, right? Especially when I'm taking swing trades. Swing trades, for those of you guys who aren't familiar, are trades that we're typically holding overnight for a couple days or a couple weeks, right? Those are not, they're a little bit different than your day trades where you're entering in the morning and exiting, within five to a couple hours, right? Swing positions, again, it goes back to the patience aspect, right? I'm entering trades for a much longer period, which also helps satiate a little bit of that I need to be in this trade type of mindset, because you're going in with more of a long-term investor type of strategy. You're going in knowing, okay, here's the plan that I had laid out. Here's the reason that I'm taking this trade. and then I can just stick to that, right? I have no emotions in any of the trades that I take because I go in with such a solid plan. It's one of the reasons that when I do my calls in Steady Stack, for those of you guys who have seen or maybe you haven't, I put in an incredible amount of detail into my calls. It's not just here's ticker and here's the option contract that I put in all the pros, the reason that I'm taking the trade, the reasons that I'm doing it, my confidence level, here's the cons, here's what could go against us, right? All my analysis is in there. I never want people just copy trading my calls because I post a specific ticker and options contract, right? I want them to make their own analysis, see why I'm taking the trade, and then determine from there, right? Is this something that I agree with? Do I agree with this analysis? If so, I can research more and kind of get insight into what he's looking at, but I can also take a different route. I can go for longer dated contracts. I can go for shorter dated contracts, right? And it opens up a lot of flexibility. So I try to provide Titans with literally as much information, every single aspect that I'm seeing.
All the information that you're using.
Yeah, exactly. I want them to see from someone who does do this full time, this is everything that I'm looking at. Here's what you need to be looking at in the trades that you're taking, right? So that you can emulate that in your own trading strategies as well. If you don't have this level of detail and you're not looking at all these things when you're entering a trade, you're probably not entering it with all the information that you need, and you probably shouldn't be in that trade to begin with.
So, Beau, real quick, I love the detail that you've kind of dug into in terms of your strategy, the way that you look at the market, the way that you handle your emotions. You're obviously swing trading, longer time periods between needing to check into things. You don't need to be in front of your screen every single second of every single day. But I think that a part of your journey of that 4 years of getting punched in the face, and that's a really difficult, sacrificial, hard time for a lot of traders. A lot of people are going to quit during that time. Do you have any piece of advice for the people that are in that sacrificial period? How did you get through it? How did you deal with the pain? How did you deal with the losses? What was it that kept you going when you made some of the biggest losses of your life? And you were like, how do I even make this a reality? Because the only way you got to the Beau that's been trading for 9 years is that the Beau that was trading for 4 years kept going and kept saying, I'm going to keep going.
Yeah, no, terrific question there, because those were some of the toughest years of my life, right? Because you have a goal and a vision in mind of, I want to do this full time. I love trading. I love what I'm doing. I see the potential. I see other people making X amount of money doing this. I know that I can do that if they're doing it. So what am I doing wrong, right? What am I doing, or what are they doing that I'm not, to get to that level? So absolutely, those are some of the hardest years, right? And what I would recommend to people who are in that stage where they're still learning, right, is a few things, right? And I don't want to suggest necessarily the way that I did it, because I don't think for everyone that it needs to be a 4-year battle and a 4-year struggle of ups and downs and it being inconsistent, right? I think
that's why they have you. That's why they have you, Beau.
No, and that's exactly what I was going to touch base into, is because in a lot of ways I didn't do it the right way starting out, right? So the biggest thing and the biggest key that I've learned and that I've seen is connecting and getting into mastermind groups, right? And kind of like Hassan just said, is surrounding yourself with people who are already doing it and learning from them directly, right? I didn't have that when I started learning to trade. I wish that I had a group like Steady Stack. I say it all the time. If I had a group like Steady Stack when I first started trading, that might have cut that 4-year process down to 6 months, down to a year, right? Like, overnight, that makes such a big difference, having direct access, right? Like, I can't tell you guys, I answer probably more than 100 DMs every single day of people asking, here's the trade that I took today from your watch list. What could I have done better? What are you still in this trade? What do you think of this ticker? All the time I'm answering questions, and I truly go out of my way. There is not a single DM, and I'm sure the people in Discord can vouch for this, that I don't get to probably within 24 hours. I try to get to every single person that sends me a message within 24 hours, as big of a task as that is. So that's the biggest component, is surround yourself with people who are already doing it successfully. Learn everything you can from them, right? If I was starting out trading today without the knowledge that I have, I would be blowing up my DMs like crazy. I would probably be my worst enemy, right? Because I would be messaging myself hundreds of times a day, asking, what do you think of this ticker? What are you looking at in this sector? What could I have done better in this trade, right? I would probably hate myself. I would probably have to block myself. So that's the biggest thing. Surround yourself with people who are already doing it. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Soak up as much knowledge as possible, right? Groups like SteadyStack have a trading masterclass, right? I didn't have anything close to that. That is insanely valuable to be able to go on and learn from someone like Zan, who teaches you pretty much everything you need to know about trading over the course of, however many classes all in one place. That's insane, right? I don't know that that existed when I first started trading. I wish that it had. So getting in those types of groups, surrounding yourself with people, asking questions, that's what I recommend to those people, especially if you've already been doing it. If you're struggling for the course of, if you've already been trading for 2 years and you're still having a hard time, connect with groups. It doesn't have to be SteadyStack, right? I'm not trying to shill SteadyStack here. Find any in group, right? It could be a group of your friends that are all trading. Anything that you can do to find people that are successful in that field, I promise you, you will succeed at a much quicker and higher rate than you would trying to do it on your own.
Yeah. No, that was incredible, Beau. And I mean, honestly, it's just inspiring to hear you talk. I mean, even when you say that you're a full-time trader, but at the same time, you're also, a co-founder and owner of SteadyStack. You, like you said, like you don't let a DM go more than 24 hours. Those are the types of things that you just only hear from winners, right? Like if you have a task in front of you, you are going to get it done. If you have, whenever you tell me this, it blows my mind, but like Beau spends an incredible amount of time on the charts and, guiding people through the market all day, every day. I mean, he's there literally 8 hours a day. And then what he'll do is he'll narrate the market to all of SteadyStack, give them ideas, show them charts, show them different news updates, all this type of stuff. And even though he's on the charts 40 hours a week, probably more hours pre-market and post-market, he's only taking 1, 2, 3, trades a week, maybe even 1 trade a week. I mean, sometimes I look at the tracker, it's like 4 to 6 trades in a month, right? And that just shows the level of discipline, the level of just like what actually goes into becoming a successful person in any avenue of your life. So I commend you for that. And I will say that it's absolutely remarkable what you've done. Of course, you've made millions and millions of dollars and helped other people make millions and millions of dollars. But money aside, right? I think whenever you go through a journey of like 9 years and now a year of being at SteadyStack and also growing into a business leader, which I mean has likely been a huge shift and experience for you yet again. I'd love to hear a little bit about, money aside, what are like the soft, intangible, maybe like character aspects or skill aspects or like, what are the things that, we don't see, money aside, that have just become a part of who you are through this journey of being a trader, right? And how do you think those things translate into other areas of your life? The reason why I ask is that you went from being a 7-figure trader to now also, owning equity in a $30-50 million plus company. And I'm not going to say it was easy, but it's felt like a seamless transition because of how hard you work, your ethic, and things of those nature. So I'd love to just kind of hear about that experience and maybe the intangibles that it's had on like who you are, your character, your skills.
Yeah, 100%. And I think I want to start that answer by giving people some context into even just how I met Hassan and Zan, right? How did I even become a part of SteadyStack, and how did that process even happen? So to give background for those of you guys who don't know, because I don't know how many people have even heard this story. I started calling out my swings for SteadyStack. It was last March before the server opened. I actually found RPH through Neo Tokyo, which again, as I was just preaching masterminds, Neo Tokyo is another mastermind group. And funny enough, that's where I met RPH and Zan, right? My story kind of began with
Johnny's in there too, man. Johnny's in there too.
That's kind of our first origin, honestly. Yeah. Networking is everything. And it's, you can join a group and you can not participate and you're going to get nothing out of it. But those who actually delve in and make those connections, one connection can change everything. This is a perfect example of it. continue, Beau.
Yeah. I can't preach masterminds enough. So yeah, I had always wanted to be a builder in the space, and that was one of my main reasons for sticking around in Neo Tokyo. Is they had kind of the idea of like a builder's mastermind, right? Of building projects within the Web3 space that I knew was going to take off. And the tricky part for me was that at that time, it's like, I know I have a unique trading ability, right? And I know that I'm a successful trader, but how do I correlate that over into, anything Web3 related, right? So I don't remember exactly what it was, but I saw one of RPH's messages, or it might have even been a tweet about Steady Stack, and pretty instantly, honestly, resonated with the idea of it, right? With it being an investor mastermind group was kind of the initial idea. And so I reached out to him in DMs, and he might attest this. I was a little bit of a pest, right? RPH is not an easy man always to get a hold of. So I had to message him a few times, just trying to get his attention. And I'm so glad that I did, because first off, I just knew that I could provide a lot of value through the trading aspect of it, right? And the quickest thing that I found out with being in the server is how, as RPH said, how seamlessly it was to kind of make a home out of the project, right? Because I was just resonating with a lot of their messaging, a lot of what RPH and Zan were saying, a lot of the ideas that they had for the project. And so I really was able to make that a home pretty seamlessly. I started calling out in the server day one as soon as it was open, posting every single swing trade that I was taking, right, with complete transparency. And then, as I said, I'll go into a little bit more now. Over the course of, it's been like a year and a month, we've done $240,000 in profits, all through those swing trades, all tracked live within the server. Every single trade that I take gets uploaded to my tracker for complete transparency on there. And within the Steady Stack server, my role just kind of kept expanding. So just on the trading side alone, I do all my calls, obviously.
One thing I want to point out in this story, because it's so important that they analyze how your journey progressed. It's kind of like the hero's journey of Beau, right? Is you never get in life what you don't give first, right? You gave that commitment. You did all of this stuff in the very beginning of the journey of Steady Stack for free. You didn't ask for a penny, right? You just did it. You showed up with extreme consistency, with drive, with desire, with this passion. And so for everybody in life that they're not where they want to be, just remember, to force the universe to give you what you want, you need to go out and give that energy out first. You need to go out and put your best foot forward first. And look, even if you're working a 9 to 5, right? Even if you're working in a startup, you want to be the top dog, you got to show up like the top dog. You got to show up better than the top dog, right? And so these are the kind of things, like, even if you're a steady stacker right now and you're sitting and you're like, oh, I want to be a part of this amazing infrastructure and billion-dollar multinational tech company that you guys are building, how do I be a part of it? It's like, well, show up, just do things without asking for anything in return. And then RPH and I, we're going to pull up, we're going to be like, yo, who's this cat? What are you doing? What's going on? And all of a sudden it's like, you're the COO of a company. You're a director. I mean, I just signed our corporate docs yesterday, and you're on there, Beau. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're right there. It goes me, Hassan, you, and obviously now, and my dad, right? And now we've got some, obviously we just did a raise and all that, but that's the beauty of it, bro, is that's the crux of that story, is you just give more than what you get, and then eventually you get more than you gave. So anyways, Beau, please continue.
If anybody takes just like everything that Beau has been saying and like just like repeat his actions, you will, like, literally, Beau's giving you the sauce to be extremely successful. Like, he literally got this, he got his position in Steady Stack initially from a DM. You know, it's like same thing with Johnny. I had to follow up with his team multiple times to get a hold of it, his team. Then we had some phone calls, right? And it's like one thing leads to another. You just take actions, and now, like, we're great friends. We work together. We're business partners. We have podcasts together. You're an advisor at Steady Stack. Like, it just keeps on going just by how you're showing up. And like, I admire that about you, Beau, honestly.
No, I appreciate that greatly. And yeah, I mean, that's truly all I can say as far as, like, don't be afraid to reach out. Like, don't be afraid to you know, like I said, I've messaged Hassan multiple times. I still do that to this day, right? I blow up Hassan's phone all the times to get a hold of him for whatever it is, right? Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to go out and get in touch with people, connect with people, make contacts, right? That's the only way you're going to get anywhere. Don't be afraid to do that, right? So, yeah, to just cover a little bit more on the steady stack side, to follow my trade calls, it's like, right now, I also teach a weekly trading class. I read a weekly newsletter, do Sunday night market prep, daily watch list for day trading, like I had talked about. I also run a news updates channel throughout the entire market day, and a whole lot more. It's just a couple things off the top of my head, but you guys would probably think I'm joking, honestly, if I were to tell you the the amount of hours that I'm operating or working on. But
easily 80 to 100-hour weeks. Easily.
Yeah, and Beau, I was gonna my next question, just following up what H asked, you know, about like routine, what character traits, etc. But like, let's just talk about what does a typical day look on a market day for you? Because I think a lot of people think they can hop on the charts for 30 minutes and make 10 lot swing trade on MetaTrader and, you know, make all this money, or, you know, without taking the time to curate your craft. So what does a typical day look like as someone who's actually successful in the market?
Yeah, and my days have kind of evolved, as RPH said, with now handling pretty much for the last year, like all the COO duties for Steady Stack. My days have kind of had to evolve and shift a little bit, because, you know, there's just days where sometimes I'm needed during market hours, right? And
maybe tell us about
what it is.
Tell us when you were like only a full-time trader, and I'm willing to bet that some of your day started the night before with the prep, right? Because you're just always prepping.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
tell us both sides.
Yeah, 100%. Especially, like RPH was saying, that just carries over, right? It's why I do those Sunday night market preps, is because I did those before I was part of Steady Stack. That's just the way that I operated. Is, yeah, it starts on the weekends, right? Even when the market's not live, doing research. That's honestly the best time. It's the easiest time to do research, because you're not having to worry about the charts actively moving on you and missing trades and whatnot, right? So yeah, typical day a lot of times starts with the night before doing that research. For me, I live in Vegas, so I'm on the West Coast. So for me, the market opens at 6:30. So typically, my days will start at like 5:30 a.m. to do a lot of my pre-market prep, seeing how everything's opening up, analyzing, posting a lot into the Steady Stack server, the daily watch list and whatnot. But when I was full-time, it was almost the same thing, right? A lot of that pre-market prep, analyzing, rather than writing it out into like a daily watch list for other people, just analyzing it for myself, right? What tickers am I looking at? What trades, what options am I looking at in that case, right? And then market opens, and following, like I said, I'm a news-based trader, so a lot of it comes down to watching and reading and listening to news, watching outlets, researching specific sectors, keeping an eye on charts. You know, I tell RPH this all the time. It's like I'm on the charts literally the entire time that the market's open. I don't miss very many 15-minute candles when the market's open. So yeah, that goes until 1 p.m. for me. And then before joining Steady Stack, that was a lot of my free time. From then, it was kind of like, okay, the market closes at 1. Now what, right? My girlfriend of 10 years, she works until 5:30. So that was kind of my downtime previously, like 1 till 5:30 when she gets off. A lot of just downtime, right? But that just doesn't fit my style either, as I'm not a very sit around and do nothing type of person. And Steady Stack kind of filled that void of like, nowadays the market will close and I have 20 other things that I need to do with the rest of the day, right? A ton of other things, hundreds of DMs to get to, right? So it's like, there's never a downtime now. There's never a time where I'm sitting around like, oh, what am I going to do today? There's always a list of things that need to get done. So
it just shows your obsessed character. And guys, like, it's crazy. Beau lives in Vegas. He's never smoked. He's never drank. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, those are the types of things where it's just like, when you add everything up in your head, it's not a surprise why Beau is so successful, right? It's like, Dan, what do you always say, right? The input is your output. It's like,
yeah. And also what's so important, Hassan, is you're completely right. Look at that obsession, look at that drive, but also the 9 years. Like, people want, like, Hassan, people look at us and they're like, oh, you're doing all this stuff. But it's like, gee, we started when we were teenagers. You know, we started when we were teenagers. So
we also put the hundreds and hundreds. I mean, honestly, over 7 figures in coaching at this point.
Yeah, of course. Investing in yourself is always going to accelerate and truncate time, right? Like that's the fastest. Even with our wholesaling company, one of the updates is you know, we brought in Matt Kavanaugh, who's a seasoned wholesaler, and he's coming on board, getting a position of the company and growing it more, right? Because that's, you know, actually at the higher levels of business, you don't even get to pay for coaching. You don't even get to, because the experts are so good at what they do. They're keeping their secrets. They're keeping their cards close to their chest. So they're like, yo, I'll help you. Give me a piece of the business. You know, that's the real mentorship, you know, at the Alex Hormozy level when they're taking you to 100 million or whatever.
That's a cheat code of life. See, like everybody's always wanting to build everything by themselves. They don't know that it's better to have a smaller piece of a bigger pie than it is to just have the whole pie to yourself.
Like, Hudson, what do you want? I'd love for you to answer, because you know the answer, obviously. Would you rather have 100% of a strawberry?
Billions. Give me the billions.
Yeah, right. Or 1% of a watermelon, right? You want 1% of a watermelon or 100% of a grape or a fruit or a strawberry, whatever it is, right? Even an avocado. What do you want more of? Probably the 1% of a watermelon. So anyways.
Yeah, I think this was massively valuable. Beau, quickly, where can people find you on social media? Obviously, they can find you inside of Steady Stack, but where can people find you on social media?
Yeah, so I really only operate out of Twitter, so you guys can find me at Beau. It's just BEAU 11007.
And I'll put it down below in the description as well. Like I said, I think this was massive value from just discipline, forming a strategy, actually what it takes to be successful in the markets. And I think it all shows, you know, your track records is pretty, I mean, it's undeniable what you've done to this point. And it's really impressive, you know, how you've ascended up the ladder and got in the right circles. And now, you know, as basically equity holder and co-founder of Steady Stack. It's really impressive. And I think anyone can learn from this edition, guys. Leave your comments down below if you got
Johnny, real quick. Are we able to see any results, Beau? Do you have anything that you can show us real quick on your screen?
Yeah, so like I was mentioning before, I do track everything. And this is another good tip too, is that I did this before I started calling for Steady Stack. I tracked every single one of my trades before anyone else was looking at it, just for myself, right? To self-analyze those trades.
And if you comment below, if you comment below and you want access to this trader so that you can use it on your trades, right? We'll literally just send you the Excel sheet file. Just comment in the comments, show Johnny some love for being an absolute G, and Beau and Zan, and we will just send you the Excel sheet. And you guys
one piece of alpha. I know people are always starving for alpha on these podcasts, and that's why we like to try and sprinkle some stuff while you're watching. Is if you're excited and impressed by Beau's track record, we're working on a copy trader where you can literally, as Beau's trading, the trades are just being taken on your account. Now, obviously, there's going to be a certain account limit, etc. But you know, that's one of the things that you can actually partake in as a Titan, and maybe if you have the right legend.
Beau's got Baba open, man. I know this man's looking at the charts while he's on this podcast.
He's not wrong. I told you I can't miss a 15-minute candle. I have it up on the side there. But yeah, I won't go too crazy into detail because I know it's a lot of numbers up on screen here. The biggest thing to keep an eye on right here, just the total profit and loss. So this is for 2022. $145,000. Like I said, this was all tracked live month by month. So I started in March, so there's nothing for January, but you guys can see month to month it gets tracked, every single trade that I take. And you guys can see some of these are only 4 trades during the whole month of September. It doesn't but $42,000 profit in September over 4 trades, right? So that really shows you guys exactly what I was talking about, right? And then here's 2023. We've had a really strong start to the year. We're up $94,000. This is through March. This Baba trade is going to make it.
Win rate.
Yeah, at 100% win rate right now, over 12 trades in only 3 months, right? And I'll go back real quick to show you guys here. So here's the number of trades. So this was all of 2022 starting from March. We only took 40 trades, right? 32 winning trades, 7 losing, 1 break even, 80% win rate right on the dot. So that just goes to show you guys, you don't have to be trading every single day. This was over the course of 9 months. I only took 40 trades, swing trades, and then so far 12 this year, right? So this is just to give you you guys kind of a breakdown. And then this is a little bit of alpha. So this is just a screenshot from one of my long-term accounts that isn't tracked in the trader. And for those of you guys who have been keeping an eye on Steady Stack and have been following the Legends Mint, I'm going to be opening up a long-term investment channel where I call out my long-term plays. So this is a screenshot from one of my Fidelity long-term investment accounts that'll be doing the exact same thing that I'm doing with the swings, just long-term investments, right? So even longer periods where we're holding for over the course of 30 days, a couple months, right? So you guys can see year to date right now, we're up almost $18,000. And if you compare that to SPY, right, we're beating SPY by 7.5% year to date, up 26%. So we're beating SPY by 7.5%. If you were just to invest your money in SPY, you'd be not making as much money as if you were taking my long-term investment trade.
If you want access to Beau and the genius that he is, I literally tell people all the time, the way that Steady Stack's built out and how much Beau's in there, if you want to become Beau, you have the direct path to be able to do so, because he's there literally sharing his entire life so that you guys can also emulate or repeat successful actions. Trading isn't the only thing that we do under Steady Stack, but clearly it's a huge impact. Definitely keep your eye on Steady Stack and the upcoming Legends Mint. I mean, we're over 80% pre-sold at this point, and the mint is still 2 weeks away. So it's going to be very, very exciting, very innovative for this market. And honestly, it just wouldn't be what it is today without, Johnny, who's an advisor of Steady Stack, and also Beau, who, literally is Steady Stack in some ways. So, man, this was an amazing podcast. I had so much fun. I've learned literally so much on this podcast, and I had a great time. Thank you so much, guys.
Yeah, I think this was highly valuable. Follow Beau. We'll link his Twitter down below. Like the video if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel for more Futurist podcasts here every Monday on the channel. Follow my co-host as well down below at Ready Player H and at Zan Shake. I'll link all of our Twitters down below. We will see you guys next week. Till next time.